You've got blood in your hands.
Right, okay, Douglas.
If I may just quickly, also, it came up earlier, the idea of a timeline. You'll always see pressure being put on the government, indeed on our military, to provide a timeline for withdrawal in this situation. Please do drop this idea if you have it. Timelines for withdrawal are really only of interest to our enemies. They're of very little help to us or to our forces. And if I just may quickly, the gentleman there, you're quite right, by the way, to mention our Canadian allies in this. But if I can just quickly say the comment you made, by the way, I think it's clear I held no brief for either Hazel or the Labour Party, or indeed any party. I think what you said has to be cautioned a little, if I may. When terrorists attack you, when terrorists take over civil societies in other countries, you have a choice on your hands. You either have the choice of allowing them to keep what they take and to kill with impunity, or you have to do something about it. If you do something about it, you'll be accused of having perpetuated the problem. So in that case, you either have the choice of sitting on your hands and saying, we deserve it if you're attacked, or you say we should do something about it. Now, there are all sorts of disagreements, I'm sure, that we have on this panel and in this hall tonight about both Iraq and Afghanistan. But do bear in mind, please, the following. Al-Qaeda does represent only the pinhead of a very substantial enemy, a very serious enemy, which desires you harm, even if you desire it no harm. And that enemy, I submit, has to be tackled. It is not one you can simply sit down and negotiate with. It's not one you could wish away. It's real, it's there, and we have to fight it. To that extent, if the government has blood on its hands, it should be something which you should be proud of.
Okay, thank you very much. One more comment. Yes?
I actually agree with what you're saying about taking Al-Qaeda completely. My issue was with troops having the right armour and not having the right equipment, and that's what I meant.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Let's go back to the questioner. Yelena, would you like to make a comment on what you think?
I don't think that sending troops necessarily will make the situation any better. I think that other issues need to be tackled, and sending troops is kind of like the way of the government showing that we are doing something about the situation, but not necessarily directly tackling it.
What do we tackle, though?
I think that obviously another approach needs to be taken because this isn't working, and I don't know what, but that's just my opinion.
Okay. With the greatest respect, we'll have to end it there, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed for your comment. We'll move on to the next question now, which comes from Naomi Brandon. Naomi.
What do you think can be done to tackle disillusionment with politics and low voting turnout?
Your thoughts, if you could be slightly brief.
Sure. I'm amazed to hear there's any discussion at this year's Conservative Party conference. I missed it if there was. I was up in Manchester a few weeks ago, last week indeed, on the Monday, just for a few hours. It was all I could have bared, I have to say. I was doing a panel for the BBC with Jeremy Hunt, your esteemed Shadow Culture Secretary. And he was insisting that the problem is, social media, we need to Twitter more, we need to YouTube more, we need to Facebook. They just don't get it. The reason why people, particularly young people, are not engaged in politics is because, by and large, there is little choice between the three main parties. When I see Clegg come on the TV, my first thought is, I think it's David Cameron. No, it's that other guy who looks like him. There is very little to tell between the manner of our politicians and actually very little difference to tell between their policies. This is because, by and large, our politicians seem to be in agreement across the House of Commons that all the big decisions have been taken. They haven't been taken by us. Quite often they haven't even been taken with our approval. But something comes up like the sovereignty of this nation in relation to the Lisbon Treaty, and you can't get any statement out from any of the parties. The Conservative leader said the day before the first day of the Conservative Party conference that there would be no discussion of Europe at his conference. And sure enough, like all loyal people, they all didn't have a discussion about Europe. I mean, Jeremy Hunt told me that they were starting a new Twitter group in which you could save your local pub. I said, how about saving this country's local sovereignty? Had that ever occurred to you? No. That's why people end up not caring, because they don't believe the politicians are offering them serious alternatives.
Well, I think there's some comments there.
And especially in Salford.
Great. Douglas?
The Conservative Party will inevitably win. It'll be a one-term government. For those of you with historical memories, people are already saying it'll be the Ted Heath government. I don't think it's going to be as good as that.
Stop there. That was way beyond 10 words. Yusuf as well, would you like to tell us who you think will win the next election?
I've no idea.